40 weeks to Madiera. Welcome back to the weekly video diary on the road to the European Masters Athletics Championships, and first of several mini instalments this week which I'll stitch together from the sunny King's Lynn, and this is the Lynnsport complex, and I'm very mentally with it right now because I've not been training. Today, unfortunately, the track and the indoor hall is closed, so yeah, I've come out and driven an hour here and I'm unable to train. It's currently Wednesday, so 10 days out from competition, and I was planning to get spikes on and do some drills to try and strengthen up my ligaments. Partly on me really, I should have phoned ahead to make sure, and it's currently booked out for a school, and I'd planned to phone ahead as I was leaving Norwich, and then only remembered when I was on the road. So good to be here and check out the facility, but not a very good use of time, and yeah, it's just really worth pausing in this moment in the middle of winter, just and acknowledging the challenge that this is to find somewhere to actually train. These facilities are quite few and far between. They tend to be booked out by schools and athletics clubs, so therefore you have to train at the same time as them. But if you're busy working and you get some free time, it doesn't necessarily mean you can just go and train, unfortunately. So yeah, that's really quite frustrating. I thought I'd been really good and self-motivated, but actually I'd just been unorganised. So take some positives. I'm still able to go and train a heavy leg day today before tomorrow night's training session. Hopefully won't push it too hard. I did have time yesterday to do some heavy squats, so the heavy volume's not going to be as much the day before sprinting, which will allow me to sprint. This is a good facility. I think I've seen pictures of the inside. It's not heated, but there is an indoor track here, and there is also a sauna inside, so I think this will be a good place to come and do a kind of warm weather training in very inverted commas day, or as part of a warm weather simulation week where I can get some sauna and still get running on an indoor track. So yeah, next update will be from the athletics track on Thursday, tomorrow night, and we'll see you there. Welcome back to 40 weeks to Madiera, the second part of this week's instalment, this time from the sports park in the amazing UEA campus. So catching up a bit on the toughest week of training to date, and some pole vault update finally. Yeah, just a wee bit about my mental preparation, some of the mental preparedness that I'm already starting to work on ahead of October 2025. So let's start with the pole vault. Obviously it's been something really tricky, requiring a lot of creativity and flexibility in order to try all the different multi-events in my triathlon, trying everything, and at the same time do my strength sessions, the 6-week programme that I'm doing over the 12 weeks, as well as actually still training specifically for the sprints. So it's been really difficult to get on pole vault sessions, and this week it turned out there was actually pole vault on just when I arrived, at the same time that the rest of the sprinters were all doing plyometrics, and as I was doing heavy strength for my legs yesterday, I wasn't going to be doing the plyo, so it worked out really nice, and I finally, at the age of 34, tried the pole vault. So yeah, it was just really nice to do something completely new. A lot of the other events I've maybe done bits of at Highland Games, it's just a bit daunting, even a bit scary. This wasn't really scary, it was just doing some basic run-ups with fairly short pole into a sandpit, but just really nice to learn something new. It's just so refreshing. It's something you rarely get at the age of 34, to just, like a child again, just begin, learn to take the instruction from the coach and just run with it. So I didn't really get a height for the pole vault because we weren't able to jump onto the mats because that was still out of action, because of the essentially the weather destroyed some of the pole vaulter apparatus. But I've got a session in, it looks like I'm going to be able to achieve that goal, and I'm playing some soundtrack music accidentally in the background here, how apt. And I'll just splice a wee video in here of me on the pole. Not the most graceful, but there's only one domain of competence in the pole vault, and that is height. So we'll just see where that goes. The cow jumped over the moon springs to mind. So yeah, that's that. Pole vault's up and running. I'll just have to see if I can benchmark. There's like a minimum height that you need to be able to jump for some kind of decathlon competitions. So I'm just going to have to just shoot for that for the end of April, which is going to be my next goal setting. So already starting to get in the goals. So with the multi events, the goal for the end of January is to try them all twice. The goal for the end of April is to do them all competently within a competition setting, and at the end of April decide, am I going to take all of them or any of them forward. So, and yeah, that's just forming a GPP, general physical preparedness block that's tied me through the winter. I don't think I'm losing too much by not emphasising on the sprints. I do want to go for the sprints overall because there's so much I need to do, and as you'll find out in this segment, there's just a limit to the amount of sprint work I can do anyway in any given week. So this is the absolute low point of the winter. It's currently 1 degree outside. Google says it's 1 degree, feels like -5. It's going to snow about 9 o'clock, and so really cold. And we did a heavy back session and heavy legs already this week, and then after the pole vault we did 4 300 metres. So 300 metres is the distance that I hate the most. It's really hard to gauge and to run, and it's just pure lactic. So by the last 100 metres of the 4th one, I was just done. So it was good to see some progression, because about a month ago I did a 300 at the end of one of the sessions just to see where I was. I was running at about 47 seconds. This time we were running 4. We were running that for reps, and I was running about 47 seconds, which obviously didn't last. So that's good to know that I'm basically at my absolute limit here. In a periodised programme, in a programme where you plan in little blocks of training, where you maybe go very, very hard and then back off, and then very hard and back off. That's what periodization is. It is normal to have like a week that's overreaching, or some people would say overtraining, and then have a week that's kind of undertraining or tapering. So this week would definitely be an overreaching week, just pure stiffness and lactic in my legs, complete muscle failure. And yeah, the coach was kind of laughing at me in a very good humoured way. It's very clear that I don't yet have the general physical preparedness to be able to tolerate a full session like that, but that's exactly where I should be at the moment. It's really good to push myself in training, and the next 3 weeks are just going to be that bit easier. Next week I'll be tapering right down for competition. The week after, I'll just be recovering from competition and catching up on the other goals, and the week after that will be the beginning of a new training block, so I won't be going in the beginning of a new block really intense. So that's going to require a bit of preparation, but yeah, it just, looking back 3 months ago, walking over this same bridge out in the UAE playing fields, I'm just so proud of it's getting really dark here. This really is like the depths of winter. I'm just so proud of how far I've come, and even though I haven't even achieved anything in terms of times, I know I don't just anything, I do strongly feel a sense of accomplishment. So, lastly, on mental preparedness, as part of my New Year's resolutions, I've started meditating again, so I do try and engage in several different things that I shall talk about as the year goes on to try and keep my mental health good, but one of them, meditation, using the app Headspace, I found really helpful. They've got about 6 meditation series on sports, 2 of whom I've done already. One of them is on rehab, and I've actually started doing the rehab pack. So these are 12 minutes of a guided meditation that you listen to, and essentially it's allowing the body to let go, allowing the mind to let go, allowing spaciousness, allowing just permitting myself to think and feel things, and not always try to be chasing thoughts, not always trying to be reacting against my feelings and things, and just allowing that place of natural calm to rise up. The whole thing is so counterintuitive. I find it very difficult, but that's precisely what I need to be able to do in a competition when there's so many thoughts going through my head, and a lot of pressure to be able to tap into that place. So prayer is also something that's quite important for me, but that's spiritual. I also need to train just the purely psychological. So yeah, I'll update a wee bit more about how the meditation's going, and if I feel like that's actually like zero visuals here, I'll update as to whether I think the meditation actually having a good effect in the coming weeks. And yeah, peace out from week 40, 12 weeks in the bag, and yeah, onwards and upwards.